When we multiply and divide fractions, the rule for multiplying two fractions is we do top times top, and we do bottom times bottom. And basically we're trying to keep the times on top and the divide on bottom. Okay, so the bottom pieces are divide pieces, and we keep them together and we combine the division, and on the top is the multiplication, so we combine the multiplication. And so we can justify this top times top and bottom times bottom when we take a look at how we multiply fractions to get area. So if I have 2/3 times 3/5, I can show my 2/3 fraction here. So 2/3 is going to be this length here. 3/5 is going to be along here. I can draw my fifths. So I end up with 3/5 here, and that would represent this length here. And so the answer must be this area in here. So length times width is going to give me this area in here. Okay, so there's my area that I want when I multiply together. And when I do that, notice what I get. If I do top times top, I'm going to get these 6 pieces that make up my numerator. So 2/3 times 3/5 is equal to 2 times 3, and that gives me the 6 pieces that I want for my part. The whole is going to be represented by the entire box here of 1 by 1 box. That's going to be my one whole piece. When I take a look at that, I'm going to end up with 5 pieces along the vertical, 3 pieces along the horizontal. So that's going to be really just 3 times 5, which is why I need to multiply bottom times bottom, because that gives me the number of divisions that make up the whole. So we end up with 2/3 times 3/5 is equal to 6/15. If we want, we can simplify the common factor of 3, and the answer then becomes 2/5 is our final answer. So really we just need to follow our rule then. Top times top, bottom times bottom, and times on top will cancel a divide on bottom. So if I have a times 3 here and a divide by 15, well there's a 3 factor in here which will simplify. So we can simplify before or after. So I'm just going to simplify after. So I'm going to do top times top, bottom times bottom, and then I can divide the top and bottom by 3 to get my final answer of 1/20. Here we can also rewrite this as 7 times 3 on top. We can have 7 times 5 on bottom. And because it's times, everything on top is multiplication, so I can just keep that 5 on top. And the 14 I can just leave as 7 times 2. So I make that 7 times 2. And when I do that and write it all in terms of its multiplying pieces, I can actually cancel out the pieces before I multiply. 7 divided by 7 cancels out. 5 divided by 5 cancels out. And our answer then ends up being what's left over. So which is going to be 3 on top, 7 times 2 on bottom, which is 14. So that gives me my final answer, and in this case here, this is in simplified form because showing all the factors on the top and bottom allow me to see if there's any common factors that would simplify in the end. For dividing, what I want to do is I want to do the opposite times and then do the opposite, which is flipping this. And an opposite actually will put things in the right place. Another way we can think of it is times on top and divide on bottom. Well, this says times 2 divide 5 divide 14, which means that 14 should be on the bottom. This says divide by 15. Well, divide means times, so that should end up on top. So that's another way we can justify multiplying by the reciprocal. So here I get 30 over 70. There's a common factor of 10 that we can simplify out. And our the simplified answer is going to be 3 over 7. So here we can do the same thing. We have start with 4 over 9 and we flip the second fraction. That means we'll put the times and divide in the right spots. So we have 5 over 1, top times top, bottom times bottom. Our final answer is 20 over 9 because they share no common factors.